So in today's YouTube video, we are talking about how you can get more traffic to your website. How can you get more people to come and have a look at your website, at your home base? Let's take a look. Hello, it's Holmes coming in from Rockstar HQ, and today I want to talk to you about how to get more people to your website. Now, I know that this is something that comes up a lot for people, and they feel a little bit frustrated by the fact that they're not sure. They're just not sure if they're getting the right amount of people, enough people, whatever it might be, to their website. And the website is obviously the home base of your business, and it is, kind of the place in your business that you have the most control of. You don't own social media, you don't control social media. The algorithms on social media mean that only certain people will be seeing your stuff, but actually how your website works is completely down to you, and it is your domain, it's your stomping ground, it's your home base, it's the place where you hang out and allow lots of people to be part of your world, or you would hope lots of people to be part of your world. Now, why do you want to have a website that has a lot of traffic on it? Well, your website obviously is the place where people are going to be able to purchase from you. Your website is the place where people are going to be able to sign up for your email list. Your website is the place where you are going to have action taken on certain things that you want people to take action on. And your website is sat out there in internety land, in the interwebby land. And what do you do now? So you've got your website, what do you do now? And the first thing that I want to talk about is being happy with your website. So if you're not happy with your website, then chances are that you're not going to tell anybody about it. Chances are that you're going to have it as the best kept secret in the whole of the universe, because you're not going to drive traffic to that website if you're not happy with it. So I would first of all make sure that you are happy with how your website is. Now, little side note here, a website is never finished. So if you are waiting for the magical day that your website will be completely nailed, completely finished, then that isn't never going to come. Okay, so your website is going to constantly evolve. It is going to constantly need things doing to it. I've got a real big list of the stuff that I want to do on my website over the coming days, weeks, months, years even, because I am completely aware that it's never going to be finished. If you aren't happy with your website, now you might want to get hold of this. I'm going to put the link to get hold of it into the description box. But this is Nobody Wants a Website, and it is your checklist of things that you need to have on your website so that you can make sure that you're completely happy with it. Because if there's any level of resistance there, that you're not happy with your website and you think you might have a website, then that has to be overcome first. We've got to make sure that we're completely happy with it. The next one is that knowledge is power. Now, lots of people tell me that they don't think that anybody is going to their website, or they're not getting enough traffic to their website, or there's lots of people going to their website but they're not converting that traffic, but they aren't actually aware of the truth behind it, and they don't have the facts. So the first thing that, the second thing, because obviously if you're resistant to your website, you're never going to talk about. The second thing that you need to make sure that you've got on your website is Google Analytics. Now, Google Analytics will give you data on your website. It can become quite an obsessive place to be, because you can see in real time how many people are sat on your website. You can see what pages they're visiting. You can see how long they spend there. You can see as well something that's called your bounce rate. Now, your bounce rate is all about how many people come over to your website and they then disappear straight away. They don't spend time on more than one page. So that's what your bounce rate is all about. But I'll talk about that in a little minute. But Google Analytics is your knowledge. You will see where your traffic is coming from. You will see how much time your traffic is spending on your site, you will see where in the world that traffic is coming from. So this is your knowledge base. This will allow you to see the reality of where your traffic is. Now, Google Analytics is analytics.google.com, and what you will do is you will take a little piece of code, you'll marry it up to your website, you'll marry Google Analytics up to your website with a little bit of code that you can put onto your site in a header, in a footer, in a plugin that will allow you to then start to get that data through the Google Analytics dashboard. This is something that you can check out however often you want. You know, it's something that I look at weekly usually, but I do keep an eye on it on a day-to-day basis at times, depending on the type of work that I'm doing, because it gives me the information that I need to see whether or not that traffic is finding its way to my website. So that's an important one. So number one, make sure that you're not resisting sending people to your website because you think that you might have a website. Number two, knowledge is power. Make sure that you've got Google Analytics on your site so that you can see the reality of what actually is happening on there, rather than just guessing, rather than catastrophizing, rather than not knowing. You know, it's better to know that you've got the traffic coming but it's not converting, so then you can do something about that. Or you haven't got the traffic coming, so you need to think about more driving traffic to your website. So it'll give you that information, it'll give you that ability to move forwards. The next thing is around making sure that you are driving traffic. Okay, so what I will find is that people will get a brand spanking new website, they will go out there and they will talk about it, they'll get excited about it, they'll share it with the world, it'll be you know, a really exciting prospect, and then not so much. So when we're looking at driving traffic to your website, we're looking at you being able to share your website on different social media platforms, you making sure that it's filled in your about section on your social media profiles. Is there a clickable link to your website on your social media profiles? And on a regular basis, are you sharing links on social media? Lots of people go to me, I'm not sharing no links on social media because that means that my reach will go down. Yeah, for a lot of people, reach on linked posts is less. That's just what it is. So we've got to accept that. No good hiding your link in the comments. Facebook knows better than that. No need hiding your link in the comments. What we have to do is make sure that we are sharing paths to our website on a regular basis. If your link posts are decreased by 50%, say for example, on your regular posts, then it's 50% more people that can click on a link and get to your website than if you didn't share it. So it is important that we share links to our website onto our social media regularly. So what does that even mean? What can we be sharing? We can be sharing links to our shop pages, sales pages, freebie pages. So if we've got things that are on offer, whether it be in exchange for an email address or whether it be a financial transaction, we need to be sharing our products and our freebies on a regular basis onto our social media, because people can't buy from us or people can't sign up to our thing if we're not talking about it. Now, there's many different ways that we can talk about it. We can get creative with the ways that we talk about it. It isn't just about throwing out a link and go and get this thing, right? Let's make it a little bit more exciting. Let's make it something that people can invest in and feel, right, okay, I really do need to take that click. I need to go and see that thing. We can share our About Me page. So on a regular basis, we should be reintroducing ourselves to our social media followers, because what that does effectively is it allows us to create a relationship with the people that are hanging around on social. So they get to know a little bit more about us. We can do native posts to social media where we are just talking about what it is that we do. But equally, we can also do posts that have a link across to our About page. So again, that's an ability to drive traffic to our About page. The other thing that we can do is create quality content for our website. Now, we're in a great age whereby we can create content in a variety of different mediums. We can create videos like I'm doing now. We can create blog posts, So that is the written text within our website. We can create audios. So every single week I have a new podcast episode and I direct the traffic to the podcast that is sat on my website rather than to iTunes or to a different forum. Yes, you can go and listen to it on iTunes. Yes, you can subscribe on iTunes. But every week when I talk about the new episode of the podcast, I bring it over onto my website through an embedded podcast link. I write a new blog most weeks that will be published on my website. I often bring over the videos that I produce for YouTube onto a videos page on my website. So on every occasion it's giving me that opportunity to talk about new content on my website. This is good for a number of reasons. Number one is that Google likes websites that are updated on a regular basis. Number two, it means that we are catching some of the words and phrases that our clients are putting into search engines. We're going to be found more organically through search engine optimization, so SEO. And that is based on it's the algorithm of the internet effectively, and it's the fact that if you are creating content on a regular basis using the words and phrases that your clients are typing into Google, then you're going to be more likely to be found. So creating content can become a little bit of a thing. It can become a bit of a resistance point. You can get how to come up with hundreds of content ideas fast over on my website, which I'm going to put the link again in the descriptions too, and this will allow you to start to create more quality content for your website. So what we're thinking about is, the different articles that we can write and the different things that we can start to do around our content creation. One of the great tips in there is a little free add-on, a little free connection on Google Chrome that is called Keywords Everywhere. Now what that does is that it allows us to put in a topic that we're going to write about, and it gives us what people are putting into the search engines, what those searches are, so that we can start to make sure that our content and the content that we're creating is really good for our audience and is more likely to be found organically. So if you do struggle with writing content for your website, or you want to refine the content that you're putting on there, then How to Come Up with Hundreds of Content Ideas Fast is exactly what you need. Because once you have content that you're creating on a regular basis, that will allow you to drive traffic from your social media over to your website. So none of this we have to put any money into. Yes, we can put Facebook adverts or Instagram adverts and things like that to increase the amount of traffic that we send over from social to our website, but we can also do this organically, and we can make sure that one of the things that we're doing on a regular basis is sharing links on our social media to take traffic to our website, because that is a great big tick in the box. That is us doing the right thing to create more traffic and more momentum. Writing good content where we're considering keywords, whilst it sounds, it's literally about putting, a few words and phrases into some of the products that I suggest in here that will give you more information about what people are looking for, which will increase your search engine searchability. Newsletters. So if you're sending out newsletters to your audience on a regular basis, which you should be, by the way, then make sure that you are also taking that traffic back to your website. So can you share a blog or an article in there? Can you, promote your podcast on there? Can you promote your new YouTube video on there? How can you take your newsletter subscribers and encourage them back to your website? Another way of doing it is also to use your content in different platforms in different ways. So you could take the blog post that you had written, you could take a couple of paragraphs of that blog post, and you could share it over onto LinkedIn articles. You don't have to share the whole of that article, but what you could do then is have a clickable link that sends them back to your website to read the rest. Same with some of the platforms that are article-based platforms like Medium. What you could do is you could share a little bit of your blog, and then you could have a link back to your original article for people to read the rest. You can take a similar, view on the post that you write on social, where you take a bit of the article, click to read more, or you create a synopsis of the article so that people know that they absolutely need to read that thing, and then have the link to click more. So whether you are product based or you're service based, when you're thinking about driving traffic to your website, you're thinking about the generic pages to start with. You're thinking about the About Me page. You're thinking about have you checked out my website and the reasons why people really should go there. We're thinking about product pages, so whether that's product or service, they're the product pages, the sales pages, the places that people can purchase. We're thinking about the freebie pages. So can people get onto your list? Can you actively encourage the click to your website to result in a sign up? Then we're thinking about content-based marketing. And content-based marketing is one of my absolute love spots because it's free. And as long as you get yourself into the groove of creating content, it's an easy way for you to drive traffic over to your website. So I hope that that's helped you loads. Make sure that you are heading over to get the 2 things that I've talked about today. Nobody Wants a Website and How to Come Up with Hundreds of Content Ideas Fast, because that will serve to support you to create more momentum and more traffic over to your website. Traffic is just people. The official wording for more people getting to your website. Then what we need to think about is that bounce rate that I talked about earlier. So the bounce rate is about how long people spend on your site, and we want to encourage people to spend a longer amount of time on your website. So when we think about this, we think about I call it content webbing. So this is about having people go into your website at whatever given point. So we've always got to think about people will come across us in different ways at different times. So how can we encourage them into then falling into our rabbit warren of a website? So think about then linking pages off to different pages. So if people go to your About page, can they then be linked off to a different page? If people read this blog, in the same way as Amazon do, people who like this product also liked these things, can we have people who like this blog also like these blogs? If one of your blogs is super relevant to one of your products, link that product in. If one of your blogs is super relevant to your free resource, make sure there's the ability to sign up to that free resource and a link to that freebie page on there. So thinking about then as well how we can keep that traffic on our website longer is absolutely super interesting. I'll do a separate video about content webbing and how you can think about that really soon. So in the meantime, I hope that's given you some little ideas. I hope that the pen's been scribbling away with some ideas about how you can get more people on your website. In the meantime, have an absolutely ace day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. And of course, as always, please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel with the little subscription up there, and it would be great to hear your thoughts on this video in the comments. So for now, bye bye.